So this pelvis goes down. When you move this pelvis forward, this pelvis goes down. That's why the pelvic girdle keeps on floating up and down in case of females. But in males, because your hip joint is in front, so you just march like a shoulder without dislocating your hip joint up and down. Clear? When I asked you to observe yourself from toe to your top of your head, is there any difference? Yes. Anything else? What exactly did you do to make yourself more comfortable? Like you were standing, but when I asked you to observe, you made different types of changes in your body. So what were you trying to do with your own self?
Discomfort. Balance.
Centering others. So just compare your own body with the bricks. You are stacking one over the other and trying to make a building. Okay, so you have a blueprint which is made by bones. They are just like bricks. You are trying to arrange one over the other. And you are gluing them together with the help of joints. Okay? So if you are not aware about all these joints, all these bricks stacking one over the other, you cannot perform the specific types of movement. What will happen if you misplace one of the brick? The building is going to collapse. Okay? So in the asana, you are going to move your body, you are going to align yourself in a different possible directions, but making sure that you are not getting discomfort. That's the purpose of learning asana. It's called Sthiram Sukham Asana. So you have to mobilize your body to gain out functional mobility without spoiling the anatomy, without spoiling the joint structure, without discomforting your muscle. That's the way to get yourself aligned. Okay? So I'll just go through a layman term, a basic outline of your anatomy. Okay? You'll be learning the basics of each and every joint and the muscles along with the joints and how well you can stack them together. Okay? The idea is just keep on placing one joint over the other. So we'll start from the bottom. Look at your toes. Are they parallel or not? If they are not, make them parallel. Look at your heels. They should also be at the same gap. Look at your knees now. They should be exactly over the ankle. If they are not, if they are flaring out, try to keep pulling your thigh muscles in so that you can activate and keep your joints stacked over. Then look at your pelvic joint. Try to observe if your belly is falling too much forward, pull it in. Take some efforts, pull the stomach in. You have to stack your belly and your hip joint one over the other. Look at your spine. If your shoulders are dropping, you just try to pull the spine up. How you are going to keep your spine in an upright position? By rolling your shoulders once back and dropping your shoulders down to get it relaxed. Keep your hands relaxed on the side. Your palms will be facing towards your thighs. Your fingers will be kept wide, fingers pointing downward. But you should not overstretch any muscle, otherwise your palms are going to lean inward. So you have to keep it relaxed, but the fingers are going to be pulled downward. Now coming towards your neck, don't drop your head. Keep your neck in a neutral position. Your chin should come parallel to your floor. Your gaze should be in front. Now try to stay in this position. Stay in this position without any body movement. Observe the comfort and the discomforts of your body. Now in yoga, it is said that your body is a vessel. And when you try to perform pranayama, you used to capture pran inside this vessel. So if you want to capture this pran inside this vessel, you have to make sure that the vessel is strong. It should be firm. Otherwise, what will happen? You will keep on trying to capture the pran, but it is going to escape out from all the possible directions. And these are your joints which are not strong. This is your anatomy that is not allowing your body to to get into a perfect shape. Okay? Now, everybody is different. Everyone's body is also different. There is a basic difference between a male body and a female body. Let's start from the main point of contact, which is your hip joint. So if you want to keep your feet together, you need to look at your pelvis. If your pelvis is broad, so the upper joint is going to be far away from each other. If you are going to collapse your legs, closing them together, you are going to make a triangle and you are starting on a peak point. So you have to always make a rectangle or a square. Increase the gap if your pelvis is wide and you are finding it difficult to join your toes together. Okay? So it's basically in females with a broader pelvis. In males, we have a broader shoulder. So in females, it is very difficult to join the toes together, but in males, it is easier. Also, the attachment of the joint, like the hip girdle, in males, it is more placed forward. In female, it is more on the outer side, just to make sure that they don't have to close the toes together. So when the female walk, the leg has to roll forward like this, hence the pelvis goes down. Okay? You are going to walk like a cat. So cat walk is like this, your leg is going to come forward, in front, so this pelvis goes down. When you move this pelvis forward, this pelvis goes down. That's why the pelvic girdle keeps on floating up and down in case of females. But in males, because your hip joint is in front, so you just march like a shoulder without dislocating your hip joint up and down. Clear? So you just have to make changes in your anatomy according to your comfort, according to your anatomical form of your body. Okay? Now, moving up to your knee joint. So this is the primary joint that is carrying the entire body weight. So whenever you are standing, your ankle and your knees are the primary joints that are carrying the body weight. Okay? So if your knee joint is not strong, what will happen? Whenever you move, you will start feeling knee pain. Okay? So how you can keep any joint healthy and functional? You have two bones. One your lower shin bone, other your upper thigh bone. So when you stand straight, what happens? Your knee is just a solid plate that is kept in front. So if your muscles are not strong, they cannot keep your bony structure upright. What will happen? Your bones are going to collapse and there will be lesser space in the joint. So when you start moving, the bones are going to crush each other. That's why you start having pain. That's why the importance of anatomy comes in play. So you just have to work not only on aligning yourself, but also working on the muscle strength. So you just have to build strength plus the flexibility. Then you are going to move your joints in a functional form where you will find comfort. Okay? So in this Tadasana position, this is called Tadasana. Tad means a tree, a vriksha. It is strong, the roots are spread wide, but it is tall and upright. It is never leaning on the side. So you have to stand straight like a tree. Okay? Now you have aligned all the joints and then you are looking forward. Now if you move your body, you just have to make sure whichever part you are trying to move, that part only should move. Apart from that, everything should be static. Otherwise, what happens? Your entire anatomy is going to be changed when you start performing the movement. Clear? Yes. Now relax. You can sit down. Sit down. Sit down in Ardha Siddhasana. So in the morning only you learned how to sit in Ardha Siddhasana. Okay? Now we'll see the difference between two asanas. One is Sukhasana, other one is Ardha Siddhasana. Sukhasana is sitting in a cross-leg position. We usually sit in a cross-leg position only. But we used to say that if you want more comfort and you want to sit for a longer duration of time, you should be rather sitting in Ardha Siddhasana, not in Sukhasana. Now why it is said like this? Watch me from the side. So whenever you are sitting on the mat, this is your pelvis, this is your knee. And under your knees and your shin bone, there are your ankles. So if you try to cross your ankles like this, your ankles are going to come under your thighs, under your shin bone, your knees are going to be lifted up. Now, can you tell me which side my body weight is more? Towards the back side. So you will start falling backward. To counterbalance, your body is naturally prepared. So to prevent your body to fall back, it is going to drop the shoulders forward, whether you try or not. So your spine is in such a manner, so it is going to align itself, whether you realize it or not. So there is a natural curvature in spine, but the curvature is going to increase to prevent your body to fall back. So the idea is, Shubhendu ji, can I have a question? The idea is, if you align your pelvis and your knee height exactly parallel to each other, the body weight is going to be equally distributed. So now, see, this is the height of my knee and this is the height of my pelvis. Now I am going to add a cushion and I am bring the pelvis and knees exactly in a same line. So now my spine is going to be elevated. My shoulders, which were dropping forward, they are going to align itself and I am feeling more comfortable. If you are not having cushion, what you are going to do? Simple, bring your knees down. How you are going to bring your knees down? Spread your legs. Now both are at the same point. Rotate your hip joint, pull your leg in. Everything is grounded at the same level. Then the other knee in front of the first one. So nothing is overlapping. Hence everything is at the same level. You are increasing the surface area of your sitting position. The more is the surface, the more is the comfort. Now you just have to manage your spine curvature. Don't drop the shoulders by stretching your arms, or don't over push yourself for falling back. If you are in a neutral position, your spine is erect, you are going to find it more comfortable whether you have the cushion or not. So that's the difference. Okay. Now here comes the weight distribution. Again, we'll start from the foot. Your body is made in such a form that is having two halves. Every important organ is divided into two parts. Your eyes, two, nostrils, two, ears, two, hands, two, your legs, two. So everything is equally divided. Okay? Both the legs are not on the same side. They are equally divided on left and right. Similarly, whenever you are doing any asana, or you are standing, you are sitting, or you are lying down, if your body is not aligned, you are not equally distributing the weight, you are going to have anatomical modification. You need to have these. Okay? And then it is going to cause discomfort. So look at my foot. My feet are too much dirty. So look at my foot. Imagine that tripod as my foot. Okay? If one of the leg is weaker, or it is not having the entire weight distributed on all the three legs, the camera is going to fall on the side. So these are the 3 points. One, the big mount. Second, your small mount. And the third one is your center of the heel. Now to increase the surface area, what you need to do? Spread your toes wide. Spread the toes wide so that you have gap between both two mounts. And the third one is going to be static. So when you step on the floor, you first spread your toes wide, then drop the toes down, increasing the surface area, larger the triangle. And then you have to stand like this. You'll have a better grip on the mat. You'll have a better comfort. Now, to balance yourself, most of us keeps on trying to squeeze your leg like this. So you are shortening the surface area, shortening the triangle on which you are standing. So if the triangle is smaller, there will be a curvature in between your leg. So this curve is going to increase. And you are on 2 points rather than getting on 3 points. Now your grip on the mat gets weaker and your body is going to start trembling. So this happens in Vrikshasana. So whenever you are going to perform any of the balancing asana, and if you are not spreading your toes wide, you are not increasing the surface area that is on the mat, you are going to again and again fall on the side. Then comes the engagement of the muscle. This was about the surface area. Now the primary joint is your ankle joint. If this joint is not stable, this joint is not strong enough, this ankle is going to either tilt on the side like this, or it is either going to tilt on the inner side. Then is the strength of your knees. The knee is going to guide your ankle in the same direction. This is the center point. You can push the knee here and there very easily, but you cannot push the ankle very easily, because this is a larger joint and this is a smaller joint. And then comes your hip joint. So if you are not going to align these two joints one over the other, you are not going to balance yourself better. Clear? Okay. Now we'll try to mobilize the joints one at a time so that you just observe the functional anatomy also. There are different types of joints in your body, but every joint is not meant to perform all the types of movement. Some joints will give you some restrictions. Talking about your ankle joint, spread your legs out and try to move along with me. Spread your legs out. Only focus on your ankle. Now first you have to observe What is the engagement of muscle? Imagine your muscle as an elastic band. So this band is active because it is strong and it is held from two sides. The moment you lose the control of the muscle, it is going to collapse. So it's like a guitar string. Similarly, if your leg muscles are active, your toes will give you the direction of engagement, that is, toes will be pointing up. The moment you lose control from all the muscles of your leg, your toes are going to fall apart. You just try to relax the leg muscles and your toes are going to fall apart. Okay? So you just have to keep all the muscles active. Only focus on your leg muscles. You'll start feeling the engagement of your upper thigh muscle. If I'll ask you to hold this position, you'll start burning sensation in your upper thighs also. Okay? Don't worry about the spine. You can keep your hands behind your back. It's fine. Only you have to focus on your leg muscles now. Now try to see and observe the movement of your ankles. In which direction your ankles are moving. Stretch it out. Keep stretching your ankles out, pointing your toes outward. And point your toes in. Pull the toes inward from the ankles only. Do it one more time. Stretch your toes out and pull your toes in. Now can you tell me which muscle was active when your toes were getting out? Which muscle was engaged when your toes were getting in? Do it again and then tell me. Stretch your toes out and pull your toes inward. In which direction?
Hamstring muscles.
In which direction? Okay, let's start from toe out. If your toes are out, which muscles do you feel the sensation? Your quadricep. Where is your quadricep?
This one, over here.
Your quadricep, your upper thigh muscle, and the front muscle of your shin bone. Okay? So these are the two muscles that were responsible when you stretch your toes out. And the lower thigh muscles were relaxed. Now pull the toes in. Quadriceps were keeping it active, but which muscles are pulled more? Your calf muscles, your hamstring muscles. So the direction of movement of your toe governs the direction of movement of muscle. Also, if you stretch your toes out, you'll feel your spine is getting more upright. When you pull your toes in, you feel that you have to hunch your back to keep the muscles active. Why it is happening? Now stay in the same position. There are two types of fascia. Fascia is just a band of muscle that runs throughout your body. Now imagine these are two bands of muscle running through my head towards my leg. Okay? I cannot place it on my head, so I am keeping it on my shoulder. So this is the front fascia and this is the back fascia. The moment you try to pull your toe up, can you see the front part is relaxed now? The back part is in the same position. That's why you feel engagement in the back muscle. Now, if you lift your heel up and point your toe, the back muscle is going to be relaxed and the front muscles will be more active. Okay? Let's understand when you sit down. The same muscle is going to be on your hip joint. Now, if you pull your toe out, the upper muscle is going to be stretched. When you pull your toe in, the lower muscle is going to be stretched. Coming back more upward towards a back bend and a forward bend. Now when you bend from the hip joint, now see the movement of my muscle. The front muscle is getting relaxed and the back muscle is getting pulled. Okay? Similarly, when do a back bend, you stretch the front muscle and the back muscle is getting relaxed. Okay? So whenever you are doing any movement, if you are aware about the muscle engagement, you will find it more comfortable and you will be able to do it more better. So you will start having back pain when you perform back bends because you are not engaging the back muscle, they are getting relaxed. If you keep them active, keep them powerful, it is going to give support to your spine. Okay? So your spine is a composition of 33 bones. They are small bones, they are stacked one over the other. And your bones are your functional unit. They are not the mechanical unit. They are just like the brick. If you do not try the bricks one after the other with the help of these muscles, you cannot mobilize this joint. You are just a skeleton. To move your body, you need to have muscles. And in asana, you are not holding the asana. First, you have to move to get into the asana. For holding the asana, you have to just keep the bones stacked one over the other. That's the purpose of your bone. So it's more important to align the joints. It's more important to work on the muscle engagement also. Clear? Now, other movement is your rotational movement of your ankle. Do the rotational movement of your ankle. Ankle, not the wrist. Do the rotational movement of your ankle. So this is another form of movement that your ankle can perform. Okay? So one was forward and backward movement. The second one is rotational movement. Third one is dropping your ankle out, you can do it. Dropping your ankle in one. So that means your ankle is free to move in almost 360-degree movement. But your knee is not meant to move 360-degree. Okay? So you can only bend your knee up and down. So flexion and extension can only be done with your knees. You cannot move your knees 360 degrees like this. Though you are going to feel that your knees are able to move 360, but actually your knees are not moving, your entire body is moving. Okay? Similarly, moving more up, getting to your hip joint. Now, your hip joint can move forward and backward. So your leg can lift upward, your leg can go backward. Sideways movement, but 360-degree movement is not possible with an individual hip joint. So you have to keep both the hip joints together. There is a term called squaring your hip joint. We are going to use when you are going to learn the asana. Square your pelvis, square your hip joint. Squaring means you have to keep them stacked together. If you are standing, like in general, if you are talking to someone, we used to stand like this. Okay? So one side is super active, one side is relaxed.